All right, let's dive into a massive shift that's happening right now on the front lines. And this isn't just a story about new gadgets or weapons, it's about the very heart and soul of what it means to be a soldier, the incredible pressures they're under, and how a totally new kind of teammate, artificial intelligence, is starting to change the game.
To really get this, we have to start with the core of military life. It's all built on this incredible, almost unbreakable sense of camaraderie. This quote just says it all, right? It's a tribe. In the toughest moments imaginable, a unit becomes a family, and that shared purpose is one of the most powerful forces in a soldier's life.
But, and this is a big but, that incredible sense of purpose exists right alongside a whole set of really powerful challenges. And that brings us to the two sides of the coin, the two realities that every single service member has to live with.
Okay, so let's break it down. On one side, you have the soul of the job. That's the duty, the pride, that amazing camaraderie we just mentioned. It's the why. But on the other side, there's the pain, and it's very real. Long separations from family, the constant risk of trauma, and just a staggering amount of physical and mental overload. And it's this tension, right here, that defines a soldier's life.
And when we say overload, we mean it. Think about this number for a second. 60 to 120 pounds. That's what a typical infantry soldier is carrying on their back, day in, day out. That's a weight that doesn't just make you tired. It leads to chronic injuries, it breaks down the body, and it wears out the mind. And the mental weight is just as heavy, if not heavier. For veterans who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, the rate of PTSD is almost 31%. Now, to put that into perspective, for the general population, it's around 7%. That gap is enormous. It shows you the sheer scale of the psychological burden we're talking about.
And this number, this is the ultimate cost of that pain. In just 1 year, 2023, 523 active duty service members died by suicide. It's an absolutely heartbreaking figure, and it's a huge reason why finding ways to lighten the load on our soldiers is so incredibly urgent. So you have all this pressure on the individual soldier. And at the exact same time, militaries all over the world are facing a giant system-wide problem of their own, a major workforce crisis.
And hey, this isn't just a US issue, not at all. You can look at our key allies, the UK, Germany, Japan, and you see the same pattern playing out. The details are different, of course, but the fundamental problem is the same. They are all struggling to recruit and keep the people they need to get the job done.
Let's just zoom in on the US to see how big this problem is. In 2023, the Army aimed to recruit a certain number of new soldiers, and they missed that goal by 15,000. Now, that's not just a little slip-up. That is a massive gap that has a real impact on a military's ability to be ready for anything.
So, you might be wondering, why is this happening? Well, a huge part of the answer is right here. The number of young Americans who are even eligible to join the military is getting smaller and smaller. Right now, only 23% fully qualify. The vast majority are disqualified for things like obesity or other health issues. So, you have to find a way to make the soldiers you do have even more effective.
Okay, so with all those challenges on the table, a new solution is coming into focus, and that's artificial intelligence. But it's really important to think about it less like some sci-fi robot and more like a practical new teammate, one that's specifically designed to help with the pain points we just laid out.
Here is a perfect real-world example of that information overload we talked about. At the height of recent conflicts, the military was collecting just an insane amount of drone video. So much, in fact, that human analysts could only get through about 15% of it. That means a staggering 85% of potential intel was just sitting there unwatched.
And here's the AI solution. A program called Project Maven used algorithms that can scan 100% of that footage, automatically flagging anything suspicious. This doesn't replace the human, it frees them up to focus on the things that actually matter, making sure a critical threat doesn't get missed. It's a total game changer.
And this is going way beyond just analyzing video. AI is getting woven into the entire mission, from start to finish. It can help with more realistic training, it can help plan safer routes. During the mission itself, it can provide real-time support, and afterward, it can automate all the tedious reports. Every single step gets smarter and a little bit easier.
And it's not just about combat either. Think about something like predictive maintenance. Instead of a truck breaking down in the middle of nowhere, AI can analyze the data from its sensors and say, hey, that part is about to fail. That means more reliable gear, fewer dangerous situations, and a better quality of life. It's a simple idea with a huge impact.
So if this is the new reality, what does it all mean for the soldier of tomorrow?
Well, this huge technological shift is opening up a whole new world of opportunities, both for their time in uniform and for what comes after.
For starters, the jobs themselves are changing. The military is creating entirely new career paths that are all about tech. We're seeing the rise of roles like AI maintenance technicians, data warriors, cyber operations specialists. I mean, these are highly skilled, high-tech jobs that just didn't really exist for enlisted soldiers a decade ago.
And that, of course, leads to a really critical question. What happens when a service member with this kind of cutting-edge experience decides to transition back to civilian life? What's next for them?
Well, the answer is that a really strong pipeline is being built from military service straight into the tech industry. We're seeing all these programs, government-funded ones like VTech, corporate training from giants like Salesforce, and nonprofits, all designed to give veterans free certifications and training in fields like AI.
This quote from Salesforce's program director just hits the nail on the head. You take all those incredible skills that veterans have, discipline, leadership, teamwork under pressure, and then you add cutting-edge AI skills on top of that, that creates an unbelievably valuable employee. It really is an unbeatable combination.
So, we end up right back where we started, but with a new way of looking at things. This is a fundamental shift. The key thing to understand is that AI isn't here to replace the soldier. It's here to augment them, to be a teammate that helps carry some of that heavy load we talked about, both physical and mental. And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. As this partnership gets deeper, how will it ultimately redefine the very soul of what it means to serve?
Danger! Drone!